first MindStand webinar, 4 Steps to Transform Your Culture in 24 Hours. My name is Michael Ogunsanya. I'm the CEO and co-founder at MindStand. At MindStand, we're using AI to measure company culture. Whether your company uses a Slack, Microsoft Teams, email, or more, MindStand's focused on giving you the chance to use our new and improved culture scale. We're excited to be able to onboard our first set of customers and have some amazing insights that I'd love to share with you today. I'm calling from the sunny, beautiful Miami, where I'm attending the Miami Tech Week. It's already been a great chance for me to connect with business owners and continue that conversation on how inclusion can help build better businesses. So I'd love to talk a little bit about what we do at MindStand and how we think we can help companies directly in terms of improving their inclusion, culture, and more. But before I do that, would love to get everyone on the call to introduce themselves. I think I know some people here.
Hello, my name is Micah Husk. I am the social media manager at MindStand, and I basically design and curate all designs related to social media. And I'm excited to be here in this first ever MindStand webinar.
Thanks, Micah.
Hi, I'm Rylan Peter. I do a lot of work with externally for MindStand. I help the customers understand their data reports and really delve into their culture and what that would mean for them.
Awesome. See here, I'll jump into it. I think this could be a really great call over the next 15 minutes of steps we think you can take to improve your business today. And the first is creating feedback loops. When you build a business and you're scaling up for a venture, it's so important to make sure that every member of the company feels bought in. Every member of the company feels like they have an opportunity to speak up and be heard. And feedback loops are a very common step we see business owners take. Anonymous feedback specifically is key. If you have a conversation or a sensitive topic you'd like to address with your manager, set up ways for you to be able to anonymously let the company know, here's what's going on, and here's how I think you should take the first step. That's been a key role in our recent development, specifically of our MindStand bot, where within Slack, Discord, Microsoft Teams, and more, you can use MindStand to anonymously share feedback and get some results immediately on what the company and leadership thinks of your community. Overall, the idea of chain of command is a common term within a company. Either you're building a company that's very horizontally built, a lot of young startups do, where anyone can speak up and be heard, or once hierarchical structures come into place, you want to make sure that there's a way for everyone, whether you're a new entry programmer down to an established manager, to be able to speak up and be heard. Overall, creating an intentional effort for communications will result in a feeling of ease, a feeling of transparency and belonging for all members of your company. So let's use an example. Let's say Tim is the CEO of a 20-member company. He's done an amazing job over the past 2 years hiring and retaining amazing talent and has brought on a chief of staff, Marissa. Marissa's job is to ensure that for the work Tim does, every employee within the company feels bought in. Every employee there can directly understand how their work impacts the larger picture. And if there is any discrepancies, by using feedback loops, an employee can speak with Marissa, and Marissa, as a member of the leadership role, can inform Tim on how he can change and be more inclusive of the people in this company. So feedback loops is an excellent first step in ensuring that you can transform your culture. I'd love to jump into the second one. This one involves a bit more of planning and strategic messaging. When you're creating a way to transform your culture, think about 3-month and 6-month review processes. It's so important to ensure that every employee gets a feeling of buy-in. Every employee feels as though from day one, they can hit the ground running in an organization. Now more than ever, especially in 2022 and the focus on ESG, employees want to feel like their work is making an impact in the workplace. And it's up to the leadership to make sure that they know this. Through any member or any facet of the business, you always want to make sure that people have a chance after 3 months to speak up. Create a report that they can use not only personally for their career, but as the company as well, to show here's what I've been able to do, and here's how I'm benefiting your organization. After 6 months, usually you see an employee fully matriculated within the company. They understand what they can do on a day-to-day basis. They have a good recognition of what's happening 2-3 months afterwards, but you still want to create that intentional opportunity for them to be a star. It's so oftenly said, especially in sports and other competitive arenas, that you want people to be a star in their role. And when you embrace that and give people the place to shine, be it 3 and 6 month reviews, you're allowing that opportunity for people to excel. So, of course, I love examples, so I'll jump into one. Asking things like, what do you love about X? Let's say your company's name is Company X, which I'm sure the trademark office has already taken. But asking a question like, what do you love about X? What do you believe our company can do better at? And what do you love to do? What would you love to do more here? Getting a chance to see from a past perspective, how they feel about the company. From a current perspective, what do you think they can do in the present to improve? And then in the future, how can they continue to be a star in their role? These processes are very key in ensuring that people feel comfortable and have that buy-in, and it's a very much more structured opportunity within your organization. I'd like to pause for any questions. Any thoughts? Can you hear me well? Awesome. So great, we are halfway through. These have been some insights, and I think this is a good time to pause and talk a bit more about MindStand. MindStand measures company culture and AI by using communication data. We've ran recent studies and pilot study cases, and we're seeing this topic of culture, especially in this new remote world, being much more difficult to manage. Whether you're a huge company that we're currently in talks with, or a smaller company that can really benefit from MindStand, very traditional HR processes, 360s, performance reviews are often mismanaged because you can't see the person. You can't interact and create these touch points via in person or on a Zoom. So how might you use the messaging platform we've all gotten so used to, be able to start quantifying how the impact and engagement of an employee is being affected in a remote world? And really excited to launch our first MindStand report. As of 2 days ago, we've provided a company of over 14 messages, interactions between one another, an objective way to see how their culture is scaled. And you'll be surprised. Knowing things like, how does the culture and engagement of a company change after an all hands meeting, is something every business owner would like to know, especially when you create a strategic all hands meeting where engagement or buy-in is a key metric of it. We're able to look at things as simple as, how often are people sharing messages and posting per day, so that you can start building some programs and events around that specific time. And of course, burnout is an exciting metric MindStand is identifying. How might we look at how off-hour conversations may be affecting other employees' ability to feel comfortable and fully bought into the company? Burnout is a large and looming topic within 2022, and MindStand's helping you understand and measure it by using the data that makes you you, how you communicate with one another. So let's jump into the second half of these steps. It seems like right now, if you use these steps, your culture will transform in, well, half transform, or maybe it'll almost transform in 12 hours, but let's give you the rest of those 24 hours. So the third thing we'd like to talk about is directly related towards leadership. Those in leadership roles, you cannot afford to have miscommunication at a granular level as well as at a top-down level. And this step will help you improve your culture today. In every leadership meeting, whether it's a quarterly, weekly, or monthly meeting, ask 3 questions. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your work-life balance? What's your mental health at? And how is your personal health currently faring? When you're able to ask these questions and have people assign a number to it, you're opening them up, 1, to understand how they feel, creating a moment of mindfulness, and 2, empathy. Often as business owners, co-founders, and managers, tasks and objectives can really blind our eyes towards the people doing them. When you establish questions like this on a scale of 1 to 10 and having them write out the number, whether it's on a whiteboard, a piece of paper, or share it verbally, as well as giving them the time to explain why they feel this way, you're now building an amazing connection between the 3, 4, or 5 of leadership members that can then be affected and brought into business today. So I challenge you all, the next time you meet with a co-founder, a business partner, or even an advisor, take the time to ask that question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank your personal health, mental health, and work-life balance? I promise you what you'll find out is something you've never known before, and you'll continue building this culture of transparency and accountability between one another. And I would be amiss if I didn't tell you guys that I did copy that specific practice from an amazing mentor. Alan Hirsch, he is a radio host, a business mediator, and overall amazing connector in the Baltimore area, initially created this event, created this exercise. I remember being at a CEO roundtable. I walked in a few minutes late and I saw people writing numbers on the board and I'm thinking, oh, I must be in the financial or the accounting meeting. But little did I know, they were taking the steps for each CEO there to share that level of vulnerability. And I can tell you, it definitely helped once we began talking a bit more about how it can be helpful. So how you're able to use the advice that MindStand has implemented, Alan Hirsch has recommended to improve the culture and communication between leadership is going to help you in the long run. Awesome. So I do have some bonuses, but I'd love to jump into the last step. This step is so key when you think of transforming your culture. And it's 3 words: data-driven insights. We live in a world where everything is happening via computer or sometimes in person. How we exchange information, how we build, and how we collaborate with one another is often documented in some processes. And we know, especially with tax season, you always want to have your accounts and resources accounted for. But how might you think about the employee experience, the human-to-human aspect, and try and use data to try and understand it? We at MindStand are really excited to say, in the next week, we're going to be rolling out our e-learning module on how to improve and measure culture within your organization. There are 7 amazing videos that will earn you unique discounts and features for you to purchase MindStand today. And this all leads towards data-driven insights. Using surveys, using pulse checks, and using MindStand are 3 excellent ways for you to start gathering data on how to improve your organization. A common thing I see, and I love sharing this, is often business owners, they use HubSpot for marketing, QuickBooks for financials, but when it comes to the human aspects, it's always a test. It's a litmus test. There's never any quantitative measurement. And often employees are looking for that exact level of intentionality. The thing I love saying is within DEI technology, for short, that means diversity, equity, and inclusion technology. By purchasing licenses to these tools, you're creating this intentionality that employees and potential candidates are looking for. So when you as a business owner are thinking of hiring and retaining great talent, the talent is looking for you to do just as much to make sure they feel comfortable there. And data-driven insights are excellent in doing so. As mentioned, MindStand's goal is to eliminate surveys, but we recognize how important it can be in building an initial culture within your company. That's why we've created this e-learning module, and I highly encourage you to check out the link and to subscribe to it today. Ultimately, how you're able to measure and create the scale time over time is something MindStand has really excelled at. Whether you're starting today, a month from now, or you want to look at data from years but in the past, MindStand's goal is to give you that flexibility and clarity so that you can know where your company stands and how you can improve day over day. Ultimately, data-driven insights will establish the opportunity for you to be measured and intentional. You know, when you practice for a pitch meeting, when you get ready to present something to a group of people, you always want to be prepared. So why not carry that same level of preparation into your people and employee experience? A thing I love doing as I wrap this up is to think about some unique things that outdrives businesses. The common saying of pathos, logos, and ethos. Those are 3 very fundamental skills when you think of the human psychology. And I want to empower you when you transform your company to think through each of those. Logos is logic. How can you present data, tell stories in a way where it logically resonates with people? Data-driven insights is an excellent way to attach that logos part towards why your company is improving or has steps to improve, all with data-driven insights. Ethos really relies on step 3, establishing those 3 questions. Ethos is emotional connection. How can you, again, tell a story or present an idea that makes people feel emotionally attached or affected with it? By having these opportunities for transparency and accountability, you're showing that numbers, business objectives aren't the only things that matter. It's who you are and how you feel on a day-to-day basis. And last is pathos. How are you able to show people why what you do matters? Being able to step up to the plate and explain why what your work does is exemplary. And by showing and combining these tools together, you're establishing a way for Pathos to set a standard amongst how you measure and look at culture within a company. So thank you. Thank you so much for this time. And I'd love to end with a bonus. It's so important as an early stage company to create values. 1, make them external and internal, and then stick to them. We at MindStand have recently launched a set of values around integrity, respect, and trust. Those 3 values are something that we are looking to express internally, whether it's within employee handbooks, all hands meetings, as well as externally. You know, there's a common saying from a mentor of mine, Delali. Delali is an amazing guy. Check out our recent podcast with him. And he said, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Creating values establishes a way for you to think about culture, to think about your business, and grow it in a way where everyone knows what you ascribe to and believe in. So create those values, make them external and internal so you can be held accountable, and then stick to them year over year. I promise you, the people around you, employees, friends, once you just say and kind of manifest those values, you're going to see your life. You're going to see others around you really stick to it and be inspired by how you live through those opportunities. So thank you all. This has been an amazing MindStand webinar. I think these are some excellent steps for you to transform your culture in 24 hours. Thank you all for joining, and I look forward to continuing the conversation. Of course, here at MindStand, we're measuring company culture 1 post at a time, and we can't wait to work with you today. Take care, everyone.